In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite quotes from Dean Graziosi's book, The Underdog Advantage. I finished it maybe like a month ago, and these are all my little highlights from the book here. There's one particular section that I wanted to go ahead and dig into in this particular video, and that is where he talks about selling. So many of us, myself included, always feel a little weird when it comes to selling things. Let's say selling a product that we're trying to get out or trying to promote a thing, because we ourselves don't like to be sold to or don't like somebody being too salesy to us. So how is it that we can go about doing it? Because we all at one point or another are going to be selling something in our lives, either ourselves or something like a material thing, or if we're going to a job interview. How can we come across when it comes to selling, but just be a lot more natural about it? And Dean talks about it, and it's a very common sense approach, but Dean talks about it in this book, and I'm going to be reading some of the quotes from the book that go ahead and play to that. Now, the quotes I'm going to read to you, I'm going to read you a few quotes. It's around page 192 in the book, and getting into it here, the three things that are so important in persuasion are these: love what you do so much you feel that you're doing people a disservice if you don't get them to take action. That's step one. 2, live authentically. Be the best version of yourself. Don't try to be another salesperson. Don't be a version of you that you saw in someone else. Just be the real you. Speak through your heart and share even the most painful moments in your life, if that allows people to see the real you. Before I get into step 3, I love that point, because I think when you come across to kind of just tell your truth or really are open about like past experiences, this is what brings people closer to you. This is what makes you a little vulnerable and brings people closer, because they feel that they can relate. You're not like presenting this facade that everything's great, that everything is fantastic. So just wanted to go ahead and make that note. This is me later after recording that video and just having some extra thoughts while I was doing the editing. I also wanted to mention that you see Dean Graziosi, you see Tony Robbins doing the same exact thing, where they'll go ahead and tell their story to go ahead and kind of connect with people. You see it with Dean when he talks about like his dad and living in upstate New York and sleeping in a bathtub, or when Tony Robbins talks about that he had this last little bit of money and he gives it to this kid who was taking his mother out in a restaurant. Like these guys have said these stories many times before, so definitely wanted to add that in terms of relating your own personal story to connect with others. The third step is step into persuasion with confidence. So many people, when it's time to sell, I watched my dad do it, I watch people do it on stage, I watch people do it when I'm face to face with them. They'll talk about their product like this woman did. He was telling a story about a woman that led to these points before. They'll talk about their product like this woman did when she was talking about helping moms, but when it gets to the sales part, people get embarrassed or lose their confidence, and the sale simply never happens. At the end of each chapter, he has these underdog challenges to basically take action on what he's been teaching. Almost like homework at the end of each chapter. He says, I want you to persuade someone to use that thing you love, to eat at that restaurant, or watch that movie, or buy that book. And this is on page 195. To recap, pick something you love. Know you are doing them a disservice if they don't do what you ask. Be authentic and enthusiastic, and then simply step in to push for them to take action with no apologies. Then watch what happens. I liken it to, and I've seen it at work, I've done it with coworkers, and even family members, friends, where let's say you watch something really cool on streaming, a movie or a TV show, and you know your coworker, or you know a family member, or you know someone who you're in tune with their interests, and you just come to them, dude, you gotta watch this show. This show is dope, and I know if you watch it, it's gonna drive you crazy, like, in a good way, and you gotta watch it, because I'm telling you, I was like there yelling at the TV and screaming and hooting and hollering, and knowing you, I know you're gonna love this show. So this is a way of selling. This is a very basic way of getting someone to take action. may already trust you because, like I said, you have that relation with them, coworker, friend, family, acquaintance. They were like, okay, I'll check that out because you're recommending it, so I'll check that out. So this is a way that Dean talks about selling a product. Like, just have confidence with it, especially if it's something that will benefit somebody else, and go ahead and push it on them, basically, in a way. But your confidence, your energy, your enthusiasm about it is what's going to kind of, I think, take them over the edge most times, not every time, right? And in terms of I love that part about doing them a disservice if you don't sell them. I'm a bellman at a hotel, at a New York City Times Square hotel. Sometimes I have a little bit of trouble. I'm getting better about it, about asking for tips or like recommending a taxi, let's say, or something like that, because I don't want to come across as being too pushy. But I do know for customers, like, if they're taking, let's say their guest is checking out, I've given them their bags, and they're going to go ahead and take a taxi to JFK Airport. I know that during rush hour, a yellow taxi is a lot cheaper than taking an Uber. And I'm getting more and more comfortable with kind of saying, hey, bag storage is free, tips are appreciated, and if you needed a taxi, I can get one for you. And then a lot of times they'll be like, okay, thank you, they'll just either tip me or they won't tip me, and they'll just keep it moving. And then I'll ask them, hey, which airport are you going to? I already know the kind of like the prices in my head, yellow taxi wise. And then when they tell me what Uber is offering, I tell them, hey, this is what a yellow taxi is for this airport. So that being an example where I think it's a disservice if they're spending more money, and I can recommend something where they can save money.
This is me chiming in again. Also, full disclosure, like when I recommend this taxi service, this yellow taxi service, I have an agreement with the drivers, the yellow taxi drivers. Well, they'll hit me off with a little bit for calling them, but like I said, it's the service that I'm offering, and I still know for a fact that people will save money if they take this yellow taxi to JFK during rush hour, because it will be cheaper most times than an Uber.
That's a kind of way where I'm so confident in what I'm saying, I'm enthusiastic about what I'm saying. They don't always have to go with each other, but I'm so comfortable and so confident in what I'm saying that how can you not take action? But I've given you options. I'm not pressuring the person either. This book really said the words that went along with the actions and made me have an aha moment, and I hope that my making this video does the same for you. If you have any thoughts or comments, please do so below. Thank you so much for watching, and find all my content at paulhasfun.com and also on this YouTube channel. Thank you.